Hi everyone, it is the weekly wrap up here at the sanctuary. Sorry I missed you last week. I got a terrible cold. I lost my voice. I know many of you have had it, and I was sick all through Memorial Weekend. Pretty much was in bed for 4 or 5 days, so if I have a coughing fit, I apologize. I'm feeling much better now, but I haven't been that sick in a long time, so glad I'm feeling better. And I just really need to shout out and say I appreciate all of the volunteers, the interns, and the staff that worked through Memorial Weekend. As all of you know, running a sanctuary or an animal care facility of any kind is 24/7, 365 days a year. And that means that most of our staff was still on site caring for the animals, doing med rounds, doing project work. Volunteers and crew days were on site, helping with Sushi's habitat and repairing skirting and other maintenance items on enclosures. So there's not always the days off, and I just can't express my appreciation enough. I remember the early years, if I was sick like that, I just worked through it. There's nothing I could do, and I'm so grateful that together we've built such an amazing organization with skilled and wonderful, compassionate staff that they don't need me on many days, and that's a great testament to having an awesome organization, is that we all can take the time off we need, and the animals still receive the amazing care. So hi Marcy, hi Carrie and Kathy and Kendra and Kelly. It's wonderful to have you guys joining the weekly wrap up today. So I want to give you some updates. One is, let's talk about Catio Town first. Catio Town, I think most of you got the mailers in your mailbox. I know so many of you have given to the square foot sponsorship, where you give a square foot and another donor buys a square foot to complete this project. We really tried to be stewards of donors' dollars and not break ground until we had so much money raised from so many wonderful founding members to ensure that we could complete this project. So if funding comes in, we don't have to dip into savings to finish the project, which is amazing, so that we always have that savings for a rainy day for the cats. But so many of you continue to step up and buy that square foot sponsorship or make a donation to Catio Town in hopes that we don't have to dip into savings to complete the project. I'd love to hear from you guys a little bit of the themes. So I know the themes are fun, and I've heard some wonderful feedback. I've heard some people like, cats don't care about themes. But here's the thing is, with Catio Town, these Bengals and hybrids and Savannahs are all caught between this world. They have been through homes. I just was watching on the Savannah rehoming page, a Savannah that is on its 5th rehoming, and they still think it's going to work and be a good fit to try and rehome the Savannah again. It just breaks my heart. But we really wanted this place to not only be for the cats, but for the people that care for them. We want this to be a happy, cozy, comfortable place, a place that when you walk in, even on your worst day, you're smiling, not just for the cats, but for the volunteers, donors, and everybody here that supports the small cat crisis and putting an end to it. And so it was really fun to come up with themes for the indoor Catio suites. And so I'd love to hear from you if you had a favorite one. I know some people said the Purby, which is the Barbie suite. Me being a Northwoods girl, I loved the Northwoods suite. But a lot of thought went into those because the Posh suite, which is kind of all modern, was really made because it can't have cushy substrate. It's for the Savannahs that can't have the bedding because they'll chew it and they'll obstruct. And so really a thought went into each one. And then it was really amazing through the PAW Project, which is a wonderful group who really educates against anti-declaw and also trying to put legislation in place for no longer allowing legal declaw of cats. They had worked with an architect through another shelter that made some really cool catio furniture under themes. And so they've agreed to work with us on this project and make a kind of a central themed item for each room. So the Bengal Beach theme, they are actually giving us at cost, because they built it for a cat cafe that went away, is like a lifeguard chair that's up like this and has different levels, but it's really a cat condo. And so it's not extravagant because, of course, we are stewards of dollars. They are really doing this on a budget for us. It's if we had to do it ourselves, it would take so much time. So we are going to be building all of the catwalks ourselves that go in the rooms. AmeriCorps is helping us build all the 2x3 platforms that are up that are going to be in the catios. We're building benches for outside in the catios. But the Amazon wish list is there for you guys to really join in. So I know Sharon loves the Up North Woods theme. Did anybody else have another theme that they liked? We had also the beach theme we talked about. We have the Purby thing, the jungle theme, the snow globe. I also liked the mellow meow, kind of the yoga theme. And that was another one that was meant to not have a lot of soft substrate, but more kind of zen things, so that if cats can't have bedding and blankets and rugs like that because they'll chew it, that theme works great for them. So beach and under the sea, Lori says, yeah, under the sea is pretty cool too. So we'll share with you pieces as this all come together. Our biggest goal for Catio Town is to get the cats moved in November, October, November. And so the themes might come in tandem because we want cats warm and cozy in a building before winter, and then the wonderful theme and then the bed boxes and fountains and all that for the grass beds outside might come in the spring. So definitely come with us through the transition, but I'm so excited what this is gonna be when we are done. And I have to thank you for so many that I've seen cat condos come in, beds come in, the furniture for the central playroom come in. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I've added more things to the wish list. More of the stuff is the must-haves, like the locks for all the doors. We have on the wish list now, we have the little mesh that goes on between the shared walls on the catio so cats can't get their paws through. So all of that will definitely help if you guys would like to buy off our wish list. I feel the cough coming on. Excuse me. But this week, oh no, this might be a long cough. But this week they got the water line in for the new building. They ran some temporary electric that isn't up yet, but we're hoping soon, so that the old bungalows that needed temporary electric, because we cut the electric to a hybrid haven, gets back up. But until then, we're using the generators that you bought from our Cats in Crisis campaign last year. Drain tiles in, because this is a 60 by 90 big building, and we still have habitats around the outside as well as the Asian leopard cat's yard. And the biggest thing is I didn't want to have happen is when the rain fell, that would all then wash and flood the existing like Asian leopard cat yards. So drain tile takes all that rain from the gutters and goes right into a tube underground, and that runs it out into the ditches. So we've really tried to think of everything, including fans for every room, cat TV for every room, so that they can have bird TV and other things. Even radiant heaters for out in the catio so that they can use them all year round, and they will use them. So, you know, we tried to think of everything because, again, unlike a shelter, this is not a temporary home until a cat gets to go to a loving family. This is their permanent home where they're going to live every day for their rest of their lives. And we want to make sure that it was conducive and had long-term maintenance-free elements, so that all that time that was spent on the grass, the mowing, the mud, repairing platforms that were getting weathered by the rain and the snow is now going towards spending time with these cats that are come to us from part of the small cat crisis. And so that's really the end goal, is that those that want interaction with people, the small domestic hybrids and hybrids, will get that one-on-one attention and affection. And it goes both ways, because you have to remember, as much as we love and respect the big cats for what they are and the Wildcats, these, besides the little office cats, are the only cats our staff get to love on. and really show affection, you know, one-on-one affection too. And so it really rejuvenates them when they've had a hard day, when they've had a loss, when we have a lot of geriatrics and things like that, that we're doing critical care for, to be able to go in and snuggle an animal that you've rescued and knowing you've given them a good home is the best medicine we can give our staff, volunteers, and caretakers here. So thank you guys for being a part of Catio Town, and I can't wait to continue to share with you. Talking about that, there's been a lot going on. You know, as we know, we had a really mild winter, and usually our winter months is when we lose most cats. And even though we have temperature controlled buildings and things like that, winter's a transition month for humans, animals, everybody. And we really didn't have a lot of goodbyes this winter and was so grateful of it. But we have a lot of geriatric cats, and we are starting to notice that there's going to be some goodbyes coming soon. And it is hard, but we will share those with you as soon as we can, as soon as it's appropriate. We know your heart is with the cats as well, and so the best and the most wonderful last gift we can give them is to make sure they don't suffer, and so we will always do that. And so not only are we doing our wellness exams, but we're doing our quality of life evaluations as well, which we do all the time. And then, you know, it can be just, you've had geriatric cats. It can be a minute change. One day they're fine. The next day they're laying under a tree. They're not coming up for PM meds or AM meds. They're not laying with the rest of the group. You know, there's so many of those small nuances that you can chalk up to, oh, it's hot out today. Oh, the cat might be overweight. And so we look at all the medical reasons that can be causing those changes too, but it's those nuances of deciding is now the time, or you know, is waiting a better choice. So it's just, we have so many little cats, and you know, even mid-sized cats that are older, and so we definitely watch for them. And as we go into storm season, we want to make sure elderly cats that might have mobility issues are not sitting out in rain or storms. And our thoughts go out to all our sanctuary partners that had bad storms. We haven't had our tornado season here yet, and hopefully we don't. But, you know, and then we have extreme hot days, and the same thing as a cat with older compromised kidneys could be doing fine until a hot heat wave comes and they spend too much time in the sun and aren't motivated enough to get up and drink, and they can go into acute renal failure. So we're always watching that. We had an author here this week that's writing a book about the captive wildlife crisis and a few specific cases. And she sat in one of our status meetings, and she said, I was just in awe of how much you guys talk about how to make the cats happy, who should live by who, why they should live by who, getting everybody's input and the little nuances of personalities. She said she had visited quite a few wonderful sanctuaries, and she just was really, really touched by the staff's dialogue in those nuances of always trying to make the cats happier. Not about just reaching happiness, but always, what more can we do for Alyssa the lilager today? What more can we do for Zambuca the serval? So that was really nice to hear that. So on top of that, we've had vet exam day today was Aiden, the Asian leopard cat. So sponsor parents of little Aiden, you will be getting an update and some photos. He did great under his wellness exam. I mean, nothing new if you remember all the Asian leopard cats. Aiden is one that has no tail. He also has the cataracts. And he's just, it was a kitten when he came. And so today during the wellness exam, getting hands-on, he has a rib that protrudes. Nothing that's going to hurt him or anything now, but Dr. Campbell said all of these were from past trauma, mostly a huge fight or attack from another cat, and he probably had a fractured crack rib that didn't get set, and now it's just rehealed. So, you know, but other than that, he's doing good, and he's still loving his friends, and, you know, we got a little paw print from him that will be in our auction. So we're going to be having an online auction again this summer, so stay tuned for that as well. Let's see. The other cats, so we were just out this morning checking on Cougar Noah. Cougar Noah, you know, of the 5 Wild came, and he has a lot of sway in his back end. We believe he had exposure to distemper when he was younger. And then when you don't use your back end right, you get arthritis in your knees and spondylosis. And, you know, he's got, even at 15, he's got an older body. So he didn't come up for meds last night. He did come up for morning meds, but then he didn't come up or in for his meal. So we went down and checked on him. And of course, we're hypersensitive because we love him dearly. And he came right in for food and stuff once he wanted to do it. We noticed he's got a little bit of a pooch. In old age, it can be really hard, as we know, to lose weight. And he's not on a high volume diet, but when they're older, they hold it just in their belly. And if you have a compromised back end, that can really make it harder. So we're going to recommend that we lower his diet and lower his weight. And I know he won't be happy to hear that, but it'll make, you know, that walking with that arthritis and some of that neurological condition he have be much easier. And so those are the things we do. We walk around, we check on cats, caretakers check on cats. There's dialogue. We see them with Noah. We spent a long time eating, getting him locked in. The caretakers did, observing him, letting him out, watching him, just to make sure there wasn't any need to intervene or sedate. And I'm happy to say there wasn't. So that might not be a sponsor update because it's not really medical. It's really what we call as an observation. And that's just kind of an example of what we do on, I mean, dozens and dozens of cats on a daily basis. So the pools are all in except for Dash. So Dash, a lot of the big cats are moving, and sponsors will get updates when the moves are final. But Dash has proven to be kind of the instigator, where he's fearful of having any tigers on a shared wall, but instead of being fearful, he's lashing out and putting them on the offensive. And you know, I'm not going to take the blame for poor Dash being not a good socialized tiger, haha. But we really did try to ferberize him at a young age when he was found as a newborn on his rescue. And because our goal is always for him to live with tigers, but he might choose otherwise. So he's the only one that doesn't have a in-ground pool right now, or above ground pool, because it had a crack in it, and so we're fixing it. And of course, hopefully he keeps it from being broken again. So we'll keep you updated on all those cat moves, and you'll see some more, excuse me, updates over the next week. We're just making sure some of those are permanent, or if we have to rotate cats around again to accommodate, you know, what's a new name for Dash instead of Dash the Destroyer, because now he's being very picky about his neighbors. And then I'm working with Meredith Whitney, who used to be formerly of IFA. We're getting more and more calls on international rescues. Not all of them can take place because there's not enough funding from the governments or the places that have these cats that want to give them up or to place them, and to import overseas, as we know, can take anywhere from 6 months if it's not an endangered species to 16 months if it is. Then you add the price tags and all that. But we are definitely researching every avenue to save as many cats as we can. So we are doing a catch-up call tomorrow because we have cats in Honduras, Mexico, as we know, Argentina, and in multiple locations in some of those countries. So we were told that we're supposed to be getting our U.S. Fish and Wildlife revised permit in the mail tomorrow. So if that happens, then the next stage is to finalize the export details on the Argentina side and set up a time for hopefully Lucy the tiger shipping, as long as she is still healthy, given her age. So we'll keep you posted on that as well. And can you believe it's been 6 months since our last animal care interns arrived, and we have a whole new batch of interns arriving next week. Feels like we just get everybody trained in, and we have a whole new group, which we're really excited about, but it means retraining. It means the caretaker is picking up a lot more of the work, why those new interns are being trained in. And so, you know, being a teaching sanctuary, it's what we do, and it's really important. But it does make us have to give a little more time in the schedule to get daily tasks done. And those are kind of the biggest accomplishments. I mean, there's been a lot going on in Sushi's habitat. The shade cloths have all gone up. Winterizing has all been taken down. The garden team is here today working on the gardens. And it's just, it's progress. And so we were hoping that June 1st, the construction of Catio Town, the building part, would start. They're telling us now it's late June, early July. We have a lot of the pre-work done, the site work, the water line, and things like that, the roads, the septic tank in, but we were hoping for an earlier start. So Maria asked, what's the progress of Argentina Lucy? I did kind of mention that, but it probably just overlapped. So we're definitely hoping, she needs to come here in the summer. I will not want to accept her in the fall right before winter unless we know we're going to have a mild winter again. She's all the Argentina cats have almost come in the winter, and so we just want them to give them time to acclimate, but it's never on the schedule we will make whatever we have to work. Somebody's asking how Guinevere is doing. She is very elusive to people. I mean, her owner told us she's doing great with the other cats she lives with, and Judson was setting up trail cams to try and get pictures, and Merlin, the Bengal, was just photobombing all the trail cam pictures. But then Gilles-Marie, one of the caretakers, just sent me a bunch of photos of Guinevere that she got, which was so adorable. So hopefully those will get sent out to the sponsors soon and put up on social media so you can see how she's doing. So we know she's happy. She's doing great with her friends. It's just she prefers not our presence. And that's okay. We have several cats like that. But everybody else is, excited for Catio Town, hanging out in their temporary spaces. But we know that build out of that building can't get here soon enough. We're really excited about it. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will continue to give you updates on the cats and any news on the cats, as well as construction. And hopefully in the next week or so, we will have some really new pictures of Sushi, because hopefully Sushi will be moving to her new habitat within the next week and a half, and with her waterfalls and everything. So we're trying to get some grass to grow there too before she moves in. So we hope that will happen. And thank you guys for making all these miracles happen for us and the cats here at the Wildcat Sanctuary.